Good everyone, my name is Graphics. In this video, we want to draw the locus of P in a diagram that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen. And the diagram is a link mechanism, right? And the question says, a modified form of what straight line motion is shown above. The rod AB and CD are 150 mm long and swings about A and D respectively. The link BC is on 6 mm long with P its midpoint. Plot the complete locus of P, right? Now, for you to be able to draw the locus of P, you have to reproduce the diagram that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen. So the first thing you have to do is to draw your diagram. So I'll draw my horizontal line this way. First of all, I'll draw a diagram this way, faint line. You can see that. So on that faint line, we're told that AB, the point here that I marked at the beginning of the line, is my point A. Right? Let me write it out properly. That is my what? My point what? Point A. Now the length of the line we are given AB to be 115. So I'm going to measure 115 from 0 to 11 is 110. Then this is 115 here. So that is A to what? A to B. Can you see that? And I am going to tick in A and B. I'll tick in A and B as shown in the question. I'll tick in A and B this way. You can see that? So that is the A and B that we have. Now the next thing is BC is given to be what? 76 mm. So taking my instrument, place it in this manner. I will draw a vertical line downward this way. So that line will be my BC. So I'm going to measure the line. So from this point, I can say from B to C is going to be what? 76. So this is 0. This is to 7 is 70, 75, 76. Right? And I'm going to what? I'll tick in it. This is the question. It is tickened. You can see that. Then the next thing is I will now draw a line. This point here is my point what? My point C. Right? Then I'll now draw a horizontal line this way. So on that line, I'm going to measure the same distance from A to B, isn't the same from C to D. So if I should measure from point A to what? To B, is given as from C to what? To D. Right? So I'm going to what? I'm going to take in it. If I take it this way, I have this. Can you see that? So this point here is my point D. And we are told, according to the question, A and D is a pivot. That means it's fixed there while C moves about D. So C is moving in this manner, just like your car wiper. So C goes like this, and also A also goes like this. That taken out. So I'm going to place my compass here, and I'm going to draw a line this way. That taken, then make it more straight. I'm going to draw a line this way from here. I'll draw a line from this point. is a faint line. This is how C is moving. Similarly, this is how B is also what? Moving. You see that? C is moving in this manner, and B is also moving in this manner. Right? So one thing you need to understand is my point B is going like this, and my point A is also moving in this manner. So what I meant is going to and fro in this way, and this is going to and fro in this way. That I explained moving this way, right? So we're told that P is the midpoint. So P is half of BC, which is what? 38. Since BC is 76, so P is what? 38. So measure that 38 from 0. This is 38 here. That again, and that will be my point what? My point P. Can you see that? So we're going to now take your measurement. You add AB plus BC. And when you do that, you'll be having 191, right? So you now take your meter rule and you measure 191 on your meter rule. Now, if I start from 1, my 190 will be to 20. But if you start from 0, your 190 will be to 19 here. So that means if I start from here, from this point, this is from my 0, which is my 1. So I'm going to move to 1 here. You can see that? That is what we have. Let me make it more visible. See that? I'm starting from 1. So I'm ending at 1, 2 this here. So I'll now come to this point at point D. Place my compass at D. You can see that? I'll now strike my arc at this point here. So let me bring it down so you see what I'm actually doing. So I'll strike it at this point here, and also strike it at this point here. You can see. So that means here I strike it. Here I strike the point. This will be B prime. This is B prime prime. This is what? B prime. Right? So I will now join. Let me place it this way. So I will now join A to B. You can see that? A to B. Then A to B prime prime. Can you see that? So what you now do next is you're now going to bisect B and B prime. So with your knowledge in bisection of angles, you know that the angle between these two here is this, right? So let me just call here to be my A prime and my A prime prime. And I'll come here and I'm going to bisect these two at any given radius. I can extend it. I'll put it at A prime. I'll strike an arc. I'll put it at A prime prime. I'll strike another arc. So where they meet, I'll connect it to the center of A, which is this. and I'll draw a line. Can you see that? Now the same thing is when I meet here now, I'll call it to be A prime prime prime, right? So if I place it at A prime prime, I'll strike an arc. If I place it at A prime prime here, I'll strike another arc. So where they meet, I'll draw another arc passing through A and touching the. Can you see that? So instead of wasting time doing it here, I'll just transfer my points. I know that from this point to this point should be equals to this point to this point. Can you see that? So I'll take my meter rule and I'm going to connect these two together this way. Can you see that? Now with the same measurement that I used for this to this, right? I will come here to, I'm going to cut here. Can you see that? So I'm going to join from here to here. So better still, you just bisect it the way you bisected here. So they have to be the same. So once you've done that, you now start labeling. So if this point is B, this point here will be what? B1, here will be what? B2, here will be what? B3, right? This is B3, start again, and this is B here, right? So I'll start going back again. So we'll go to, that means first of all coming down, then it's going up. If this is B3, here will now be another B4 going up, B5, B6, start again. You leave this alone, you come to B7, you leave this alone, you come back here, will now be what? B8. So depending on how you want to do it, you can divide it as many points you want to divide it, and you can label them as or number them as much as you want to number them. Now, because let's move forward. Once I've done that, I'll take my compass and I'll measure B to what? I'm going to measure B to C, right? And I'll come from B1 and I'll mark. So where I mark will be my C1. So what I'll do here is that I'm going to join D to what? D here to C1. Can you see that? And I'm going to join C1 to B1. Hope you understand the logic. You can see that? And we're told the midpoint is P. So if I should take the midpoint to this point here, this to here will be P1. So this point here is my P1. Right? I'll come again, take the same radius of B to C. Right? I'll come to B2. I'll strike an arc here. You can see that? That will be my C2. Then I'm going to join B2 to C2. So again, B2 to C2 and also C2 to D. Now the midpoints I'll measure from B to P. I'll place it at B2, I'll mark. In between B2 and C2, you'll be getting P2. Similarly, I'm going to come from B to C again. I'll come to B3 to get what? C3. Can you see that? From B3 to get what? C3. So this is my C3 here. I want to join B3 and C3. Just like I'm going to join with faint line C3 to what? To D. So the midpoint of B3 and C3 is the same midpoint of B and C, which is P. And this will now give us P3. This is my what? P3 we have here. Similarly, I will still take the same radius from B to C. I'll come to B prime here. And I'm going to mark. Since it's not touching it, that means it's coming back upward. This is where it is touching, somewhere around here. Right? Around this point here. So that point it touches at this point. I'll take my meter rule. That point will be, I will also call it my C prime. Since this is B prime, here will be C prime. And I'm going to join it together to this. That again. So in between B and P is, place it here and I'll mark. So that will give us another P prime here. Is that again? I'll come again. So after B3, we have B prime, they'll go back to what? B4. So the same measurement between B and C, I'll come to B4. That is B and C. I'll come to B4. I'm going to track an arc. So that is going to give me C4. C4, right? Because if I place it at B4, if I should cut here, right? So since it's going up, I'll start marking from the top here. That taking? So I'm going to join B4 and what? C4. Then this to this. Is that taking? And in between them is P. I'll place it here to mark my P. So this is P here, and that will be P4. Altogether, similarly, with the same radius of B and P, right? I'm going to come to B5. I'll mark. That'll give me C5. So I'm going to join B5 and C5. That again, and I'll get the midpoint between B5 and C5, which is P. From here to here. I'm gonna place it here. And just mark. So this is the midpoint here. And that is what? P5. So this is already there. So again, I can still take B and C. Right? So once I place it at B, I'll strike an arc here. We're going up. So that will give me just C. And I'm going to join B and C. And also C and B. Can you see that? And the midpoint between P here and come here and just mark. And that is also another what? P. Right? So initially I'll move again, the same radius, B and C. I'll come to B7, I'll mark. So it's already there. So I'll join that point to that point, B7 to this point. So the midpoint, that will be what? P7. Similarly, the same measurement, B and C. I'll come to B prime prime here, I'll mark. So it's somewhere around here at this point. I'm going to join. So the midpoint is P. Right? So let's come here and I'll mark. And that is P prime prime. Then I'll go to B8 with the same measurement of B and what? And C. I'll get what? Let's strike an arc. Here at the same point here. Let's take the measurement again. B and C. Can you see that? So I'll come to this point, strike an arc. So that point. So I'll just join from here to here. We already have it. Or better still, we're coming down. So if it is B and C, look at what I'm doing. B and C. I'll come here. I'll use this and mark here. Then I'll come here also. I'll mark here too. I start. That will give me C8. So I'm going to join B8 and C8 to the midpoint of this is P. So let's come to admin is P, right? So let's come to P8 and I'll check them up. So that will give me my P8, right? And then what we have, then we have B, we already have P. So I'm going to do my French curve and I'm going to join all those points together, starting from P. This is what we have here, right? So what you just seen here is the locus of what? Locus of P. So it means that as this guy, this is a rod, like a link CD that is pivoted at this point. So as this link moves to and fro in this manner, right? And this point from here move to and fro in this manner, the locus that will be formed of the given point P is this you seen here. So if you have found this video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also don't forget to share the video. Thanks for watching.